Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video we are going to make the easiest keto enchiladas ever. I don't watch very many other keto cooking videos, and the reasons for that, there's really two. One is simply a lack of time, but the other is then that I have plausible deniability if I come up with a recipe that's similar to someone else's. And for this particular recipe, I would be shocked if there aren't maybe a dozen other videos out there that have already done this. So don't feel obligated to let me know that so-and-so already did this particular recipe, because I already said someone has probably already done this recipe. What I'm going to do to make this video a little bit different is I'm going to review 3 different enchilada sauces. And I'm going to talk about balancing or making trade-offs between how clean you like your keto and how easy and inexpensive you like your keto. So how simple is this recipe? Well, at the very simplest, it starts with just 3 ingredients. Some thinly sliced deli chicken breast, mozzarella sticks, and enchilada sauce, though probably not this one, as we'll see soon. Now I realize that this is not pure, true, authentic Mexican, so let's get that out of the way as well. This is just a super quick, super easy simulation of an enchilada for keto. For the sake of getting an accurate carb count, I'm going to measure my dish, my little cooking dish here. We've got 519 grams. Because for the chicken breast, there is 1 gram of carbs per 2-ounce serving. That, I think, is about 57 grams. So I'm going to weigh that out and see how many slices that is. So 4 slices is 54 grams, 1.9 ounces. We'll call that close enough. For our enchilada sauce, we have the Old El Paso, which I showed you a moment ago. We also have the Frontera and Siete sauces. And let me take you through each of those in terms of ingredients and carb count. For each of these sauces, a serving size is listed as a 1/4 cup, which I think is going to be more than we wind up using. Additionally, we're going to wind up leaving some sauce behind in the little baking dish, and that's why I measured that out. But let's take a look at the Old El Paso. In terms of carbs, 4 grams of total carbs, 4 grams of net carbs. Ingredients: water, tomato puree, modified cornstarch. So if you're really clean keto, that could be problematic. Sugar, again, potentially problematic depending on how clean you like your keto. Salt, chili pepper, soybean oil, which for me, that's not a good thing. I tend to get inflammation with soybean oil. Vinegar, spice, citric acid, hydrolyzed corn protein, onion powder, natural flavor, and color. So as you will see as I go through the other 2 brands, this is going to be our least clean keto option. It's also the least expensive at $2.69 per 10 ounces. Next up, we have the Frontera sauce. This is 4 grams of total carbohydrates, 3 grams of net. In terms of ingredients, we're looking at filtered water, diced tomatoes in juice, fire-roasted tomatoes, New Mexico chili, roasted onion, organic apple cider vinegar, fire-roasted bell peppers, and contains less than 2% of salt, roasted garlic, cane sugar, xanthan gum, cayenne pepper, and oregano. So one less net carb, quite a bit cleaner, and I find that this, for 8 ounces, sells for somewhere between $2.30 and $3. Finally, we have the Siete brand. And for that, we are looking at 3 grams of total carbs, 2 grams net. Ingredients are tomato puree, apple cider vinegar, chili powder, dates, that's where they'll get the sweetness instead of sugar on this, avocado oil, sea salt, chia seed, flax seed, porcini powder, onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, black pepper, and oregano. So this is definitely our cleanest keto sauce. However, it is also the most expensive at between $6 and $8 for a 15-ounce jar. I'm going to pour some sauce down in the bottom of my baking dish here. And before I put the sauce down in the bottom, I'm going to weigh out each of my 3 sauces in the bag right now so I can calculate how much total I use and thus what my carbs are. So we're starting at 336 for the Old El Paso, 231 grams on the Frontera, and 717 on the Siete. Then I'm going to spoon some of each of the three, fairly equal amounts here. Next, we'll take out our string cheese. Then we'll wrap each one of these in one of the slices of chicken breast. I kind of go at a little bit of an angle. I want to get as much chicken tortilla on there as I can. And nestle that in there, seam side down. I sense already that this is going to be a snug fit. Looks like 8 is going to be the max we can do here, which is all right because based on the carbs and serving size on the chicken breast, this will work out then to be 2 servings in total. So we've got 3 of the Old El Paso, 2 of the Frontera, 3 of the Siete. So I'll spoon on my Old El Paso. And I'm doing equal amounts of all 3. So here's the Frontera, a little thicker. We'll see how they taste. And finally, the Siete. Then I'm going to pop this into an oven, preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or roughly 175 Celsius, probably for about 20 minutes. I just weighed out each of my enchilada sauce containers to see how much I used. For the Old El Paso, I used 41 grams, for the Frontera, 44 grams, and for the Siete, 42 grams. So pretty close there, just eyeballing it. In each of those situations, that's somewhere between 2/3 and 3/4 of a total serving. So it's probably safe to subtract 1 gram of carbs from each in terms of serving size. But we'll also see how much is left in the serving dish after we plate up our enchiladas. I've let the enchiladas cook for 25 minutes, so let's get them out of the oven and plate them up. For the sake of my video thumbnail, I'm just going to grab these 4 that are all next to one another. And then I'm going to crumble on a little queso fresco. Grab a few pickled jalapenos and onions for garnish. And a little drizzle of Mexican crema. That looks pretty thumbnail ready. So now I'm going to give each one of them a taste and give you my opinion on the enchilada sauces, starting with the Siete. I probably could have cooked these maybe 30 minutes to really melt up this cheese. That Siete, it's good, it's rich, it's very sort of fire roasted tasting. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of chipotle in there as well. Let's move on to the Frontera. The Frontera sauce is decent, but it really is not nearly as robust and as rich as the Siete. I think if I would have tried that first, I might have liked it more. And then I'm going to grab the Old El Paso, which is definitely the thinnest of the 3 sauces. These end ones, always better because the cheese is more melty. I would say that most closely compares to the enchilada sauce or enchilada sauce at Taco Bell. So if you like that thinner, almost like I don't know if I'd call it a mild taco sauce, you do definitely pick up some of the corn flavor in there. So if that's something you're looking for and you're willing to trade off your clean keto for a little bit of that and get the cheapest sauce, well, Old El Paso would be the way to go. Now I'm going to remove the enchiladas, see how much sauce I have left over, and then use that for my final carb calculation. All right, what do we got now? 566. So we left 47 grams of sauce in the tray. We used 127 total grams of sauce, minus those 47 grams leaves 80 grams. So we're looking at about 2/3 of our total amount. And thus, if my math is correct, on a serving of 4 enchiladas, you're looking at 1 gram of total carbs per chicken, or for the chicken, 4 grams of total carbs for the cheese, and at about 1.5 to 2 grams of total carbs for the sauce. So depending on which sauce you use, you're looking at 6 to 7 total grams of carbs. That 6 would be on the siete end, and 4 to 7 net grams of carbs, where 4 again would be siete, 7 would be the Old El Paso. Now bear in mind, those numbers also do not include any sort of toppings or anything that you might put on. But on the whole, a very tasty and easy recipe, and I'll leave it up to you now. You decide how clean or cheap you want your keto to be, and you can purchase whichever enchilada sauce you want. But this is super easy, super scalable. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, please click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, tap that subscribe button, then hit the bell to turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you really enjoyed it, click the thanks button down there and buy me a cup of coffee. Thanks for watching.